She's the bully. Fatty, shut your damned mouth. It's also standard operating procedure for bullies to play the victim when someone stands up to them.
Thanks, Dale. These people just love comics so much.
I've got your back, my dear. I'm just starting to get caught up on this. Are you harassing people?
No.
Your followers? He's as responsible for his followers' actions as you are your readers.
Where did I say he was responsible for their actions, Sonny?
I saw the inference, Sonny. Many of us did. It's a sad tactic, often used.
Paranoia is sad, too. So you don't harass people, but invest in inferences. Do they suit your narrative, Sonny?
Then why the question?
I'm asking if they are. Being on social media, as we are, one can see these sorts of things. I wanted to know, what's the problem?
It was the logical assumption based on the original question. If that isn't what you're implying, great. When you first ask if he's harassing people, then ask if his followers are, you're implying he's responsible for what his followers do. He isn't.
I'm asking if he's aware, not responsible. That okay with you?
Projection is tragic.
I never said he was responsible for their actions. You keep insisting on it. You are projecting.
Telling bad artists who bring identity politics into comics that they are bad artists is harassment now. Telling writers to stop hating on their own readers also counts, apparently. This is 1984 we live in. Thanks, SJWs. Don't you dare be critical of someone, that's hate speech, especially if they also happen to be any sort of minority. They are a protected class, you know.
Because minorities don't experience hate. It's only criticism.
Sure, they can experience hate, but progressives, or the left in general, are entirely unable to separate criticism of what they do from what they are. A person's skin color, gender, etc. is not a shield from shoddy work, and the manipulation of emotions through this is disgusting.
And how often does this happen, in your opinion?
I've been watching it for at least 4 years on a constant basis with no end of this lack of distinction in sight. Right now, I'm watching it happen in comics media with at least one media article coming out every other day saying as much, so it's a rather well-accepted action to take.
So, what you are saying, 100% of the time, this is the case? The people who support you seem to be mentioning minorities, leftists, etc. a lot in their comments to me. I want to ask you, was your roast targeting people that would identify as minorities?
Have you seen any of us harass you? Other professionals? You're on Twitter, good sir. You can see which of us follow him or not.
Ooh, sound defensive, good sir. I do not have time to go spying on other people's Twitter accounts. I have real work to do. We are being vilified because we reject a direction in comics as being forced and is not done based on merit and sales. The rejection of us by comic book pros is political in nature. I'm being straight with you, and you are being coy in return. What direction?
It's a preachy far-left direction that has made a lot of mainstream properties have more in common with religious pamphlets than entertaining stories.
What is a preachy far-left direction?
Sure, let's pretend you don't know and provide you an example. Also, how cute of you to accuse DNC of playing coy when you've been doing a bad faith coy tactic act this whole time. You're pretty transparent, dude.
Instead of giving me an example of someone else's opinion, which I have nothing to do with, why don't you just show me where I was being coy? Or are you just being difficult?
Those were two separate statements, one providing you an example of far-left ideology in your industry, and the second being my commentary on your behavior as being coy and in bad faith. Nice try at trying to conflate the two, though.
I'm separating the two, not conflating them. Pay attention. No example, then?
Have we moved on to how am I being coy, or are you still asking for examples of far-left ideology in your industry?
You're wasting my time, little contrarian.
No, this conversation is direct evidence to my claim that you are being coy in bad faith. You've responded to none of the legitimate answers to your inquiries, and have made no attempt to justify any of your positions. Once you get cornered, you ask something else. You lose.
Said the guy who produced zero evidence of my being coy. I'm exercising bad faith. What a ludicrous position!
Dale, you have dodged every piece of evidence given to you, and then you move on to another question. Why don't you respond to the almost hundreds of replies that have been giving you the same pieces of evidence over and over again? If that's not bad faith, then what is?
People who get caught talking shit should just man up. If you are only criticizing minorities and no one else, it does matter. If you can't see that, I can't help you. I've had over 300 replies tonight. I just want to point out, though, that I've had almost 400 tweets directed at me from Comicsgate supporters, and none from the other side. A hobbit with 8 followers tells me to crawl back to obscurity. I worked with Stan Lee, Geoff Johns, Alex Ross, Al Williamson, to name a few, over the past 32 years. The halfwit is you! Crawl back into your hole and take your bullshit with you. I have patently responded to as many of the 500 plus tweets as I could from exclusively your side. I have been exchanging with Richard and his army, and the 600-odd tweets they have sent me. Sounds like he does a lot of roasting of others. I've been in this business for 32 years, and all I've had time to do is work my fingers to the bone. Further, the truth will never come from one source, but multiple sources. Okay?
You are on Twitter talking to someone and act surprised that his followers would respond. Stop acting like you don't know how Twitter works. You also act like you don't know basic facts, like how he has a roast channel. That is basic knowledge, okay?
I'm answering a swarm of tweets. That's what I'm doing. I've been in the public eye for longer than you have been alive. I've been stalked. Don't make me laugh. I have never heard of this roast channel or him until recently, and you can't act on Twitter. Okay?
So, you are admitting to never having listened to the very channel that he is being criticized for, and using only secondhand knowledge to call us all racists and claim to be having genuine dialogue. Check. P.S. Books and theater is written by someone acting through written word.
So they place the script on stage, do they? Or is it the human interaction that comes later? Just asking. Okay. Where did I call you racists? Seriously, stop looking at your own navel, please.
If you are only criticizing minorities and no one else, it does not matter. If you can't see that, I can't help you.
And what of it, little Lorena?
What else is there to say? You came into this whole thing with an already fixed opinion, and then claim you have wanted open dialogue. You also pretend not to know how Twitter works, and say that you can't lie online.
Okay, I've
Played along for the entire evening, but it's obvious what you're doing. I'm in my 40s, and I'm guessing that you are just a few years older than me.
Stop pretending to be offended
By a term that would make a 4th grader yawn.
For the record, I'm 55, a Scotsman, and can hurl insults that would curdle your blood. I choose not to.
Words aren't fists, lol, man up.
You don't say. So, walk up to Mike Tyson and yell a racial epithet if you're that sure.
That's Action, reaction. Words still aren't fists.
That's 'cause you don't fully understand what that word means and how it can hurt.
Why do you keep bringing up race and racism?
Oh, where else did I do that?
We don't need you. You need us. Check your ego.
Well then, let's see you draw your own books then.
You're not so bright, Dale. There were people before you, there will be people after. Everyone is replaceable.
You're not so bright either. I've had a successful, rewarding, award-winning career. Opinions are like arseholes. You can finish the rest of that, can't you?
If you are so far above us and don't care about our opinions, why do you keep responding? Lol, twat, twat, twat,
What? Twat! No, because I do care, and don't think I'm above my fans.
I personally think that you specifically are a twat. I have the right to that opinion, and you have the right to cry yourself to sleep over it, and then write a Twitter drama about the horrible, vile thing I called you. Or you could treat my opinion like a certain hole.
Yes. Why produce the evidence of my alleged charge of racism when you can hurl insults instead? This is what you are and what you stand for. Calling people a twat. Let's see, we're at 700 plus tweets from the DNC crowd now. The hostility growing, that's what asking questions get you. What anger? I have been nothing but patiently answering the DNC crowd. The deluge is at 700 plus tweets now. Why? Because I asked questions. You're not interacting in good faith. You're not adjusting to facts on the ground. Excuse me. I've engaged you guys honestly and asked questions. I've kept my composure despite the increasing hostility. This is bad faith. When did I talk shite about he DNC crowd, buddy? Someone just called me a twat. I guess that's comedy to you guys, right? Ah, yes. Why produce the evidence of my alleged charge of racism when you can hurl insults instead? This is what you are and what you stand for. Calling people a twat. Apparently, the DNC crowd don't harass people.
Be honest, you were thrilled when you saw the tweet so you could finally show everyone how big and bad we all are. I've been called that. Who cares?
So, you'd call your mama that?
If she was acting like a twat, I would. And she'd get pissed, but she wouldn't be devastated to hear that because she's not the weak, pathetic being you seem to think women are.
Or the disrespectful person you are?
You know what she's saying. Your behavior and dishonesty in all this is truly disappointing.
Talking about yourself again?
No. And if you ever checked my feed, I've never called anyone that. My point is that this is the internet. Pretty much everyone gets called a name at some point, and it's not exclusive to one group of people.
Funny. This group thinks it's just fine. Maybe you need to scroll down and read the hundreds of comments to that effect. Oh, when's the last time you defended yourself against a swarm of 17,000 people? Tough guy. Did I block anyone despite the 1,000 equals tweets to me? Many of them hostile?
Defend myself from what? Edwards on the internet?
I'm squaring off with 17,000 followers. What do you know about anything, Tiny? My name isn't Dale. Couldn't handle that one simple fact. No surprise there. Did you distance yourself from the person who called me that? You who claim you don't harass anyone or mean to offend?
Judge that group of thousands of customers, Dale. Judge them.
Everyone is. They're all watching this. Isn't that the point of all this?
The point is to sell comics and entertain people. Not to be morality sheriffs in a shrinking industry.
Bullshit. Think I care what some infantile girl has to say. The point is, you have become a, lynch mob. With tweets at 100 and counting, no one has come to my defense. I stand alone. The one pro who decided to hear you out versus 17,000 insulting me, lying about what I said, refusing requests for proof when asked. Please, it's you the net is watching, not me.
You're grandstanding for your peers.
Bull! I here alone? Who is defending me? How many people are now attacking me over things I didn't say? Your whole gang, is it? You didn't distance yourself from an unprofessional, disrespectful comment to a fellow pro. Then you turn around and say you don't harass or condone harassment. How many people are tweeting to me now?
You are embarrassing yourself.
No, you are. Believe me. Want me to begin retweeting all the shite things people have said about me over the past 2 days? There's plenty among the thousands of tweets. Must be nice and warm in your little lynch mob. What's funny is the swarm you are part of and how you just don't see how this looks. I'm not running, nor am I blocking. Go back to your lynch mob like the bad little boy you are. Oh, Lordy, after 1,000 tweets, I think they need to get a job. Thousands of now hostile tweets directed at me from a large group of people. Gee, no. What's lynch mob about that? I bet you don't even have a clue what my position is. Unlike being in a lynch mob, right? He retweeted to me the insult that was unprofessional and disrespectful. It showed not the word, but the disrespect. He saw it because he showed it back to me. It was his chance to say that is not correct. He failed.
Oh, joy. It's just words. Don't ever step in the comedy club. You'd collapse in a sobbing heap.
No, I wouldn't. What a contentious comment! You don't know, do you? You're just part of the mob. I'm not blocking anyone, so that changes what about what I said? You know the Twitter sphere is watching all this, right? You keep coming back and lying. I guess it's hard to escape the pack mentality you have. What no vulgar, gum-popping insult this time. What's funny is this swarm you are a part of